At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley. As the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show, Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
What a way to kick off Wednesday. Welcome in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. A little Cheryl Lynn to get us started, encore. And I will have you know, that song is re-entering into the charts because of TikTok. So if you're into football, right? When the Baltimore Ravens were playing in the playoffs, the last game that they won, some of the fans did a little dance ditty to Cheryl Lynn's encore. And, you know, some of the kids on TikTok have been doing their little TikTok-y routines to encore. And so it is making a resurgence. If you follow Cheryl Lynn on Twitter, she's been tweeting about it. And, you know, she is pleased because I think it's recently been a little over 40 plus years that she dropped that single, and to see it come back around is amazing. So I know that we throw a lot of heat at TikTok in the generation, but one thing that I love about it is that it does sometimes give these older songs that these kids may not have known about, or, you know, just a refresher in the history of music. So I appreciate that. Andy?
I think it's also an indictment of today's music.
Facts.
The fact that these younger generation folks are, you know, gravitating towards music that was back in the day. You know what I mean? So it's a great thing.
Let's go. And, you know, shout out to Cheryl Lynn. You know, Miss Girl gets sassy on Twitter every now and again, but I love her classic songs. So welcome into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. This, of course, is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. And as we always say here, we have so much to get into tonight. If you aren't already, hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I am at Stiletto Jill. Holla at your girl, say hi. If you want to get in on the conversation tonight, 800-920-1580. And of course, you know, there is a visual to go along with this audio piece. Hit us up on YouTube. The chat is always active. Lots of commentary, lots of opinions. And we love that. So get in there and, you know, find a home. We love it. So let me give you the rundown of what we're going to be getting into tonight. So, first of all, like I tell you guys all the time, social media is a beast. And they love to go after Mama Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mom. Well, Tina liked a tweet and it got some fans all riled up. We'll get into the details of that. Tina had to come out and clear everything up with a video. So, we're going to talk about that. We're also going to get into Kanye West. So, there was a fan outside recently when he and his wife, Bianca, were getting into their car that was, had a lot to say. And some more fans, I guess, decided to DM Kanye on Instagram asking for the old Ye back. And Kanye responded as only the new Ye would. So we're going to get into that. And something that we've talked about before, is it fair to hold artists to their old standard if they're trying to evolve into something different or that's where they aren't anymore? We're going to talk about that. And coming up, we're also going to get into 21 Savage. He hit up Club Shay Shay. And he has an interesting opinion about parenting, something that a lot of people probably would think the counter of. So we're going to get into his thoughts and opinions about that. We're also going to get into a resurgence of some 2000 video vixens and a whole lot more. But before we get into all of that, I always have to drop a few conversation starters on you, topics that we can't get into the full story, but I want to share. So first up, we know Andre 3000 dropped his Flute album and it did extremely well on the charts. He has all the people, well, a great deal, adventuring into ambient music and, setting their vibe right. Well, Andre's going on tour with his flute. And when the tickets were announced, they sold out in less than 30 minutes. And he crashed the Blue Note website. So he is coming to LA, but as I said, the tickets are sold out. They sold out in 30 minutes. But I just hope fans are respectful because I saw clips or commentary from one of his recent shows on this, and someone went and was upset that he played the flute for 40 minutes. It's for a flute album. Did you think he was going to break out in Hey Ya somewhere in the middle? I'm not understanding what's connecting. The man has told you he is on permanent hiatus from rap. Doesn't mean he won't ever come back, but it's not right now. Y'all got to be respectful of the choices and decisions of the artists you claim that you love. On the other side, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. It's also Wednesday, so that means that our Keep It Real friend, Trent the artist, Trent Jackson, is in the building. So we're going to get with him on these topics, all of that and more. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world. if we care enough. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were tapped into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, listen, I was telling you some of our conversation starters, and we're not done. There's a couple more. You need to be informed. So, listen, it looks like the Los Angeles Chargers might be getting a new coach. Jim Harbaugh, as you know, is reportedly planning to leave Michigan. And word is that he interviewed with the Chargers and that both sides are interested. So he could be headed to LA. We'll see how that matches up, if he can do something with the team. And, maybe there'll be another winning franchise in LA. Also, are you a fan of The Daily Show? Now, we know that The Daily Show did our guy wrong because they should have just slotted him in there when Trevor Noah left. I'm talking about Roy Woods. But The Daily Show is still without a host, still searching. And their host of 16 years has decided to come in and help them out a bit. So Jon Stewart, who I mentioned hosted the show for 16 years, left in 2015, is going to be returning part-time to The Daily Show as not just host, but as an executive producer throughout the 2024 election cycle. So on Monday night, starting February 12th, he will be hosting The Daily Show on Comedy Central. Are you interested? Are you going to check it out? Are you going to tune in? Let me know. So it is Wednesday, as I mentioned, and I'm not here alone. I am joined, of course, by our Keep It Real friend, Trent Jackson, Trent the artist, in the building. Welcome in, Trent.
Hi.
Happy Wednesday to you.
Happy Wednesday.
Okay, why are you looking like the Cheshire Cat? What's going on?
Someone else told me that once before.
So that means that you have a sneaky aura about you, at least in the moment right now.
I'm always up to something.
Are you?
But you can always trust me, but I'm always up to something.
You up to something?
Always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Mama Tina Knowles is very active on social media, Instagram in particular, right?
Yeah.
And Miss Tina is very vocal about her likes and her dislikes. Don't come for her children. She will be on you, like a mom, right?
Right.
Well, recently, after our girl Janet announced the what will we call it? It's not a second leg of her tour, but she is restarting her tour, the tour that she went on last year. I'm blanking on what word I would use, with Nelly. And, concert live experiences right now, they aren't cheap. The tickets are a little expensive, right?
For Janet?
In general, for live concert experience.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say Janet is always reasonable.
So, well, apparently some fans were like, I can't see Janet and be in the front row for less than $1,000 in VIP. You know, they felt that was a lot or something. The tickets.
No, 5,000 is a lot at a Beyonce concert for front row
Listen,
and not VIP.
I'm not here to quibble.
Oh, okay.
I'm just talking about what happened.
Oh, okay.
And so somehow Miss Tina Knowles.
I just wanted to make the comparison: 5,000 versus 1,500. But we're also talking about people in different economic brackets too, because Janet, I feel, appeals to a particular audience, and her audience has money to spend on tickets, versus Beyonce's people going in debt over the ticket. There's a difference.
Perhaps
It's what it is.
they're what they are.
Speaking from someone who's been to several Janet concerts over the span of years,
Yeah.
I see who's around.
So I guess Miss Tina liked a tweet from a fan saying that they felt Janet's tickets were a little high.
Okay.
And fans were upset. Like, why are you shading the Jacksons? They feel that there is some secret beef between the Knowles and the Jacksons. They've pointed to some random
Definitely
comments that were made, in interviews that they felt was shade. So they were coming for Miss Tina. And Miss Tina said, no, no, no. And she made a video in response to answer those people's questions about her tweet.
Received a phone call that I'm trending for liking a post about ticket prices and an artist overcharging. First of all, being on the other side of that, I know better than anyone what a great production cost and that it's expensive. And I would never criticize another artist, let alone Janet Jackson, who is the queen of production, and her family. I mean, they're the first family of music, always have been and always will be, and I love and respect them. Secondly, I stay away from negativity. If you follow me, then you know that I am not involved in the mess. So what I am guilty of is liking posts, going through when I'm in a big hurry and I don't have time to really read, and liking things because I trust that these are people that I follow. That was a big mistake. I will never do that again. So I just want you to hear it from my mouth that I would absolutely never do that.
So we know the internet will take liberties, make assumptions, and things of that nature. Miss Tina came out and addressed it. But do we think that accidental liking of tweets or posts is still really a thing? Or I don't know why people, I know why they track it, but, why do they care?
Fans take things way too far, and these new age fans, I don't know what do they call
Stands?
yeah, but there's a different word for them.
Fanatics?
No, was that Swarm movie?
Mm-hmm.
There was a particular word that they use for these. Anyway, they do the most, way too much, and people they create stuff. There's no beef between Beyonce and Janet. Come on, this is the dumbest thing. And we already know Richard Lawson already told us that she country and she just be saying stuff and liking stuff. So why y'all already know Tina be just posting corny jokes? Like, why y'all even starting stuff? Just go do something.
It must be frustrating, right?
It has to be. I would be annoyed all the time.
I mean, just you aren't even although, some may quibble that Miss Tina has turned herself into, a celebrity by association or celebrity adjacent, right?
I think that people make these people celebrities. These new generation of people.
You
fans.
don't think people were always interested in Katherine Jackson, and if they had an avenue to hear her thoughts?
Sure, but here's the thing about Katherine Jackson and Tina Knowles. Katherine Jackson is not getting on Twitter. She's not getting on Instagram. Even if, and trust me, she has a phone and she knows how to work the internet, but she don't have time for all that because she's old school and she comes from a different generation where she's original famous before all this stuff. So this don't matter to her. She don't care about that. And I think that sometimes the people that orbit famous people, they just get caught up in it just because they're just a part of it. They're just.
Do you think Tina's was because the fans were just interested and she's just being herself?
I think that's some of it too, and I think that she also likes it, and because you have to like it and kind of play into it to be a part of it, because you have to also remember there was a point in time that we knew who Tina was. We knew that she designed all of the outfits for Destiny's Child, and there was no internet. Okay, so she became a player in that, a part of it, for whatever reason. But she didn't have to sign up for it and do it. She could have been like Katherine Jackson and could have just sat back and just chilled and came out in her wig, and we saw her whenever we saw her, and that's it.
I mean, people pay a lot of attention to the family members, associates, or whatever of celebrities. Do you think by default that those people should or have to conduct themselves in a certain form or fashion? That was Jonathan Major's point in asking his girlfriend to be like Coretta, because it's a reflection of this individual. Do you think that that is unfair pressure or just part of the game at this point? Because
people are going to do what they're going to do. So again, you have a willing participant like a Tina Knowles, or you have, let's say for instance, my sister, who is, I'm not giving up my Instagram. Don't tag me. I don't want no parts of it. If people find out we related, they just find out. But we're separate entities, right? People don't care about it. They know that she exists, but they're not going looking for it. And it's like, come on, be cool. People put themselves in that category. If you want to be anonymous in this climate without social media, trust me, you can do it. People sign up for it and they volunteer and they jump in and they're willing participants.
Okay. So moving around from that, shout out to everybody holding it down in the chat. Crystal Wait, Pretty Brown Mimi.
Pretty Brown.
Hope you guys are having an amazing Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
So listen, we talk about people not fully thinking about social media and things. And we talk a lot about privacy, right? So if you're a public figure and you file for a divorce and the public finds out, but I don't know what's going on. Well, here's the scenario. There is a Miami Dolphins player. His name is Tyreek Hill, right? Tyreek has a lot of children, I think, out of wedlock. So he, not too long ago, and his now wife, Keita Vaccaro, got married, right? So
wait a minute, what team is this again?
Miami Dolphins, NFL football.
Yeah, I isn't, but didn't they just have another incident with another one of their players, and they?
Well, he was last week
A coach. And they gave him his big deal after he got the divorce. So
no, that's the Miami Heat.
Okay.
Wrong sport.
Okay.
Sport.
I knew it was Miami
that's
somewhere.
NBA.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Okay.
So Tyreek, he plays for the Dolphins. He's a player, and so recently his house caught on fire. A kid was playing with a lighter and matches, accidentally set the house on fire. He's had some other incidents with women and children and alleged pregnancies at the same time. Well, recently, the Miami Dolphins were on Hard Knocks, and he decided just randomly that he wanted to get married on Hard Knocks, right? Well, on their bye week, but show it on Hard Knocks, right? Well, a couple of weeks after that, something pops up and people check the court system, and he's filed for divorce. Somebody shows that by somebody, I mean a blog, a website, one of those things. He comes out and says that the people are spreading bad energy and don't send that juju over here, even though it is a court documented document. It's not made up. And my question is, how about just say nothing? If your plan didn't go right, you changed your mind that quickly, because the wife is posting, loving couple photos, but I don't know if you rashly go file for divorce. But my thing is, why try and make it out like the people are trying to take you down and put bad energy? Why not just say nothing and handle it?
Because people we live in a society where people think that they have to respond and they have to say something. Because there's all these avenues to express yourself. You don't have to say anything. Just like you don't have to sign up. You can leave the party.
What party?
Any one of them.
Okay. I was like, what party? What happened? What did I miss? Clearly a lot. But, I just wonder what the sense in that is, because that doesn't work anymore. Remember when Twitter first started and people would tweet something and it wouldn't go the way that they expected, and they would say, I was hacked.
Mm-hmm.
There were some hacks, but
not that many.
It's just so interesting. And then I wonder, well, you decided to do it, right? And he said that the reason why they went and got married was because he re-entered a Monday Night Football game where he had an ankle sprain because he was texting with her at halftime, and she was like, you better get back in the game. Encouraged him, so they went and got married. Do you think, because it sounds like he might have, and she's an influencer, do we think they were doing that for a storyline? Like, it felt good to him in the moment.
Or is it buyer's remorse and I needed to know, man?
Well, they've been together. I mean, it could be. They were living together. So I think one hand may have been, like I said, he has some outside pregnancy situations, and there's some other accusations against him. So I'm just wondering, was this a quick cleanup job and a nice way to put it out there?
I don't even know what kind of convoluted mess is this. Like, what are you doing? Like, just don't get married.
This is what our pro athletes are doing now. We have Fahima from DC on line 1. Good evening, Fahima. Happy Wednesday. Welcome in.
Hey, Jill. What's up, Trent?
Hey, Fahima. How are you? Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, I just thought I would take a brief break from the Twitter space. That's my new hangout, Jill.
I know.
And see what you guys were talking about. Now, I don't know this particular athlete you're talking about. I did hear something briefly about the fire. But how do you know that the document that was posted was real and authentic?
Because it is. The source that I saw it from, at least, fact-checked it. They went specifically because of some other rumors that are circulating about him. And you're right, it could be fake, but he didn't say the document was fake. He said, you're putting out bad energy. And so I just think that sometimes, especially now, the things that we do for and to protect image takes us in some interesting spaces and places. Listen, I'm going to put a pin in you. When we come forward, we're going to hear more from Fahima, more on this topic, and, of course, more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
So you're soaking me good, yeah. You're so good love, deserves an encore. You're so good love, deserves an encore.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A bill designed to prevent the removal of historical monuments is making its way through the Florida legislature. A Senate committee approved a measure that would stop local governments from removing or destroying statues. The move comes as the city of Jacksonville continues its fight over Confederate monuments after the mayor removed one from a city park last month. A former Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy has been sentenced to 1.5 years in federal prison after violating a man's civil rights. In 2020, Christopher Hernandez was one of 2 deputies who threw a man in a patrol SUV after he told them to leave 2 young black men alone at a skate park. The victim was then injured after one of the deputies crashed during a pursuit with him still in the back seat. Hernandez pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy in July. His former partner has already been sentenced to 2 years in federal prison for his role in the incident. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton. Payton on your home for 24/7 news, the Black Information Network.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Got me a damn girl on my team.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley. As the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show, Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Award Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
Do you have both Medi-Cal and Medicare?
If so, the new LA Care plan called Medicare Plus can help you get the most out of your health plan for $0.
LA Care provides personalized service to Angelinos like us.
Plus, it gives us access to doctors and specialists across Los Angeles County.
For zero cost, we get access to full benefits.
From vision coverage,
in-home support services,
to prescription drug coverage,
and a quarterly over-the-counter allowance,
plus personal equipment,
meal programs,
a gym membership,
and so much more.
For more than 25 years,
LA Care has provided Angelinos with access to quality health care at an affordable cost.
For our families,
our seniors,
our community,
it's a plus.
It's a plus
for all of us.
Environmental justice is racial justice.
Environmental justice is social justice.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit savebythescan.org. It could save your life.
SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Miami, South Beach, bringing the heat, Can y'all feel that? Can y'all feel that? Jig it out, Here I am in the place where I come let go. In Miami, the bass and the sunset low. Every day like a Mardi Gras. Everybody party all day. No work, all play, okay? So we sip a little something, leave the rest to spill. Me and Charlie at the bar running up a high bill. Nothing less than ill when we dress to kill. Every time the ladies pass, they be like, can y'all feel me? All ages and races, real sweet faces. Every different nation, Spanish, Haitian, Indian, Jamaican, black, white, Cuban, or Asian. I only came for 2 days of playing, but every time I come I always wind up staying. This the type of town I can spend a few days in. Miami, the city that keeps the roof blazing. Party in the city where the heat is on, all night on the beach till the break of dawn. Welcome to Miami, bienvenido a Miami. Bouncing in the club where the heat is on, all night on the beach till the break of dawn. I'm going to Miami. Welcome to Miami. I heard the rainstorms ain't nothing to mess with, but I can't feel a drip on the strip. It's a trip. Ladies have dress full of your
I don't know if I've ever seen Will Smith perform. Well, The Fresh Prince. I don't think I've ever seen The Fresh Prince perform.
Didn't he perform at the Grammys before or something?
I mean, I've probably seen him perform on TV. I mean, in person. He performed recently at the Hip Hop 50 celebration that they had a couple months ago. He and Jazzy Jeff. But I would like to see them, we have all of these festivals and stuff like that. I would like to see a set from Will and Jazzy Jeff. That would be hot. No? Okay. It would be hot for me. I would enjoy it.
No. I wasn't saying. I was just thinking like I was just more so, was he interested in that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he worked really hard on his performance, he said, for the Hip Hop 50 show. I know he enjoyed it, being back in that vibe. There were the videos where he was freestyling against Jaden. So I think there's a part of him, I'm not saying he has to make a whole album or, do anything like that, but a couple of spot dates here and there, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? So, really quick before we move on about the Miami Dolphins situation, well, the Miami Dolphin player, Tariq Hill, he's a receiver, by the way. So, not only was it, on some little sites, the Herald, which is a newspaper in Miami, and the Florida Sun Sentinel both looked into the records as well and verified it. And they did it after he said people were lying. So, again, everyone vets differently, but I'm going to trust that something was filed by, it says he filed it, by someone, at least on his behalf. Maybe he just hadn't shared the information yet, but something went down. Let's get back to our caller on the line, Fahima.
Well, you said something interesting, Jill, because he filed it, but are records actually available prior to being made finalized? I mean, if somebody's getting married and they file for a marriage license, or someone, has the divorce been declared?
No, he just filed for it initially. And the same thing with marriage license. It is a state-by-state thing, but when you file, that information is public record because you file and then you have 30 days to officially do it.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I mean, who goes to court digging up somebody's pending records? I mean, I think they need to get a life.
But I think this is what TMZ does. This is what most, as far as investigative journalism, even if it's across entertainment or whatever, they scan daily the court docs to see what's been filed, whether it's things like bankruptcy, death, tax, all of that. That is part of how they break stories and find
No,
leads.
you're right. But I'll just say this. I didn't even remember this guy's name. I know I did hear about the fire situation, but the name didn't resonate with me. But his response is what made me think that do we know this to be true? But you said that 2 media sources corroborated that it has been filed. I don't know, because one might think if he had done that after getting married, if he got married recently, wouldn't he have been able to get it annulled? Just something about this doesn't sound right. If he's been married for less than a year, you can get that annulled. So I don't know. It just sounds weird.
Listen, like I said, I think it potentially was, let me get some airtime on Hard Knocks. My girlfriend/wife is an influencer, and I've had some bad press as it pertains to outside of the game. I'm not sure how he's been performing this season, but we are in a different time. Stunts and shows are part of the protocol.
Well, you're right, because there was a time where people did publicity stunts and people actually got married for publicity. But anyway, I'm going to go back to my Twitter space, but I'll check you guys out before you end.
Make sure you keep us locked in, Fahima. We need you here too. Appreciate you calling in always. Thank you so much. Listen, it's stunts and shows. How do you stand out in a crowded space?
I forgot that people used to get married for publicity back in the day.
I think they still do now. There are some PR relationships floating around out there.
Yeah,
there are definitely
some.
Yeah,
Should we call them out?
No, we don't have to unless you want to.
Oh, like Megan Good and Jonathan Majors?
Yeah. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
No, we don't do that I forgot. This is your show.
But you do what you do.
Mine.
Here, let me tell you why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Should we call Perry and ask her to do it for us?
Yeah, always. Shout out to Pebbles. Let me tell you why, though. I think I mentioned last year that I was at the ABFF honors. Mm-hmm. And this was shortly before all of the situation happened with Jonathan. Mm-hmm. And both Megan and Jonathan were there.
Okay.
That's all. Listen, you fill in the blanks.
I've gone places too with people that I fake dated.
This is before the incident.
I've gone places with my fake person before incidents happened.
There was no reason for them to be fake dating.
Sure there was.
At this point.
Sure there was.
Because he was publicly with a girlfriend.
It's a preemptive strike.
Okay.
Something is staged somewhere.
Listen, maybe the revealing of it, the outspoken of it could be. You don't put anything past anyone or anything here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So we will see what happens down the line and how it all shakes out. The new season of Harlem should be dropping in the next few months. So.
That's the Amazon Prime show.
Mm-hmm, that Megan stars in and produces.
Yeah.
So shut up to her.
Does she star in it and produce?
I believe she's one of the producers.
Okay, that's
at
cool.
At the very least, I know she is the star.
Whoopi Goldberg is in that thing too, right?
Yes, she is. She plays
that dry professor.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Pretty Brown Mimi says getting divorced is crazy in Florida. He's going to pay alimony and child support for this lady for sure. Maybe not, because it's so short. Maybe they had a prenup. Maybe they have a postnup.
All that.
All of that. I don't know. Something is afoot, though. Something is definitely in the mix, like Trent. So,
yeah, I see what you did there. I love it.
Right. So, Britney Spears.
Ooh, she's one of my favorite white people.
Well, your girl has taken from dirty dancing in her living room to being topless at the Four Seasons pool. And
makes sense. On brand behavior for her.
It is on brand behavior. However,
she's always taking her shirt off. Even on Instagram, every chance she get.
Right. The
flashing.
tatas are out, right?
She thinks it is Mardi Gras all year long.
Well, Britney is now banned from the Four Seasons Hotel for going topless in their pool.
It's Brittany B.
That it is. Which Four Seasons? The one
All of
Westlake Village. No, it's the one in Westlake Village. So she has been, in and out of the Four Seasons for a long time. And so according to the Daily Loud, Brittany has been terrorizing this Four Seasons in particular for the past year. It's like I said, it's the Westlake Village Resort. She lives just a short ways away from the Four Seasons in her $14 million mansion in Thousand Oaks, right? But apparently she likes to go there and hop in their pool topless. And they said that allegedly she went to great lengths to regain access after they put her out before and temporarily banned her. She refused to move her car from the hotel's driving lane unless she was granted access to the hotel and their pool. She allegedly said, "Do you know who I am? I bleeping built this place. I've spent so much money here, I could have bought this hotel." So, I think about
I love it. What else are you supposed to say?
Pop star, Britt. I feel that, but the only thing that concerns me with Brittany, right? Because I was happy that, she was released from some really restrictive circumstances. But I do think that
You know what this is? You know how you grow up with those friends and they're like Catholic schoolgirls and they're like structured and disciplined their whole life.
But she's been free for a long time.
But wait a minute.
Okay.
And then soon as they get a boyfriend and get out on the streets, they buck wild, they smoking weed, they dancing with the devil and drinking 40s on Crenshaw, right? They doing the whole nine. That's all this is, just with more money. She done broke free from the chains. She can breathe. They done took the IUD out so she can go do it willy-nilly. She is trying to flash everybody. She wants to drink. She wants to smoke. She wants to dance with the devil and do everything that she's big in. She wants to drink 40s on Crenshaw. And Brittany is going to do Brittany. She'll be fine in a couple of years. Let her get it out of her system. She'll be fine. Let her go.
A couple of years.
Let her go.
When we come forward, we're going to get
She was locked up for how many years? 10 years.
Like 10.
She need at least 5 of those years to just be free and drunk and crazy and loose in a hoochie.
Well, there we have it.
Yeah.
When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Some people just know the best places to eat around town. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate. They know exactly where to go to get exactly what you're wanting. They know where to find the spiciest hot pot, the gooeyest brownies, and the tenderest, most flavorful portobello steak. Those people also know that safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Saving 40% is based on the national average premium savings for Allstate auto customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Welcome back into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we were talking a little Britney Spears and exhibitionism. So in the interest of fairness, I should say that another report claims that a representative of Britney's has denied the reports that she was banned. However, Miss Britney posted, as she does, as she likes to do, on Instagram, 2 videos of herself. They were silent. She had on a little gold dress. And the caption said, "Awkward silence. I love making people feel uncomfortable. Here's to gold." So I'm going to go with Britney got banned from the Four Seasons.
Yeah, she's also a Sagittarius.
She is a Sagittarius.
Professional trolls.
That they are. That they are. So, you know, Brittany, you got a whole pool. I'm sure you have a whole palatial setup back there. Just import whatever you want.
That's the problem. That's the problem. The importing. That's when it gets tricky. She don't need to import nobody. You know what she need to do? Stay
Find
at home.
another hotel.
Stay at home and get some black friends.
Why does she need black friends?
I told y'all before, because we ain't going for all this. We ain't about to be to the Calabasas going through all this. We taking the phone. We putting the phones up. We not all this getting kicked out. We not doing all this.
No.
We're going to put a stop to it. We're going to get Britney on track.
Well, Pretty Brown Mimi says, I don't understand why Britney doesn't go topless in her own pool. She needs to get back into therapy. I don't care how perky her breasts are. Go topless at home, Britney. I heard that. I know that's right.
And that's true. But she likes the attention, and because she's not performing anymore, she has to get it from somewhere.
Well, that is true. That when the applause goes silent, but I mean, because what can she really do? She's not going to record music. She's not going to tour again. At least not right now.
I mean, not right now. But Britney Spears can do a lot. And I'm not one to say this is what because you don't know. But what I do know is if somebody had me locked up for 10 years, I'm gonna be out here.
You'd be wilding out.
Oh, I'm gonna be out here. I'm gonna be smoking weed. I'm gonna be hanging out with everybody. I'm gonna be at every party. I'm gonna be out here. I'm hooking up with Paris. I'm hooking up with Lindsay. My whole old crew.
So let me ask you this,
Yes.
because there's been a lot of kind of little things when she's been out, like the incident with Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
I said it wrong again, Andy. Wemby.
Attention.
Where, she said his bodyguard.
Attention.
So I'm just,
attention mixed in with privilege, and I'm Britney Spears. I can do what I do. Don't you know who I am?
Right. It's been a lot of don't you know who I am moments.
Yes.
So don't you think that is headed for
a collision course?
Mm-hmm.
For sure. But that's a part of it. You have to hit rock bottom and then come back up.
Hasn't she already done that, though?
No, she was in captivity. That didn't count.
I mean, but before, what caused her to get to captivity?
That wasn't rock bottom. That was postpartum depression.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with Brittany. Okay.
I read her book.
And that's what she said. She said it was.
No, but even when she describes the events and everything that happened leading up to it, it was like this girl had postpartum depression, and they took advantage of that and locked her up. Well, she just needed a break. That's all. What we're watching is she did not have time to, like, you know how everybody goes through their 20-year-old hoe phase.
She had that.
Not like normal people. She was in an arranged situation.
What do you mean? You're talking about Justin?
Oh.
But she talks about sneaking
control.
off and dating other people, Wade, a couple other people in between there.
That's
not a hoe phase.
That's rebellion.
Same thing.
That's rebellion. That is, I don't want to do this. I'm about to lash out and rebel.
So what's the difference between that and
what's she doing right now?
Yeah.
There's no body to say, here, do this, do that. So there's nothing to rebel against. Right now you just wilding out because you was locked up in captivity and you need attention. So it's different. It's a different type of energy.
Okay.
She just needs to spend, it's like a 2-year-old, like toddler. You just exploring your limits and you got to spin out and go to sleep. Or you got to touch the fire and testing limits.
I mean, how much more fire does she need?
She's a Sagittarius. She needs all the fire and all the smoke.
She needs a friend.
A black friend.
Okay, so listen. When we come forward, we're going to get into your guy Kanye. Always, always, always.
He is bigger than Taylor Swift and Beyonce.
In his mind.
According to Kendi.
Who's Kendi?
You know, your friend that be in the chat.
The
listener.
Shout out to Kendi. Listen, Kanye is Kanyeing once again.
Geminiing, for sure.
And why do the fans still fall for it? Plus, we're going to get into a little resurgence of some of your favorite video vixens. So,
Melissa Ford and her Honda Accord?
Melissa's vixen? Part of this conversation that we're going to have.
Who else?
We're going to see. You got to stay tuned to find out.
There's only like 2 of them.
There's way more than 2 of them.
What's that girl's name? Corinne Steffens?
I mean, yeah, but there's way more than her. She's not even
What's the other girl's name? Vita Guerrero?
There's way more than that.
That's 3.
So, see, the list continues on, and none of those women are in the resurgence, but we are going to talk about Melissa Ford.
Who else is there?
A lot. We're going to get into it when we
I don't think
back.
they're important.
I think that you are missing something.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to get into it.
I love being corrected. I'm not beyond being corrected.
And also, we're going to get into why some fans are, in my opinion, upset before it's time to be upset about the Grammys. They're not even waiting.
Tina Knowles dissing Janet Jackson.
Could be all of those things. We're going to get into that and more on the other side. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You do and flow to this fashion show, pound for pound anywhere you go. Yo, ain't no city in the world like this. And if you ask how I know, I got to plead the fifth. Miami. The heat is on all night.